A very good afternoon. I hope you're all having a good day. Thank you so much for joining me in today's session. I am Sharada Murthy from the marketing team of Manage Engine. I am a product expert in AD Self-Service Plus, and today we will be talking about the power of password self-service. So before I jump into today's session, I would like to quickly check if my voice is audible and the display is well and clear. Please send me a yes message in the chat box that's provided to you if you can hear my voice and have no problem in viewing the display. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your response. With that, I think it's time to quickly jump into today's session. We are going to be talking about password self-service using AD Self-Service Plus. But before I jump into the session, let me quickly walk you through the importance of password management and why self-service is what we need to resort to. So yes, the points are on your screen. The latest Gartner report that came out, that is the Gartner report that was released in 2017 December, said that almost 40% of the help desk calls that any organization receives is primarily due to password-related help desk calls, password-related problems. And what if I told you that we can actually work towards reducing the 40% of the help desk calls drastically? Not just reduce, maybe work towards eliminating them, simply because all these password management troubles majorly revolve around password self-service. And the 80-20 rule when it comes to security breaches, yes, we are all aware that there has been a constant rise in the number of security attacks, security breaches. We hear news quite often these days about how large organizations have also been breached. And the 80-20 rule holds good for security breaches as well. And that is 80% of the security breaches are because of the minor 20% of problems. And when I'm talking about the 20% of problems, believe me when I say this, the issue that is topping the list or the easiest way to cause a security breach is based on passwords, is based on mimicking a user's identity, misusing a user's identity, or basically hacking into a network or a system by breaking into the password. So the 80-20 rule holds good for security breaches as well, and that is also a major reminder as to why password management is important, why we need to focus on better passwords. And when we talk about password management, we also need to focus on Active Directory because we are in an era where we are fast moving towards cloud technology. Users are using multiple applications on an everyday basis. I'm sure you use at least 3 to 5 applications in your organization to just get your work done on an everyday basis. And so does every single user in your organization. So we're talking about more passwords and more passwords to manage. Yes, cloud technology has taken it gently. But the major drawback that we are facing in today's world is that everybody works with that at least 90% of the organizations in the world have a Windows-based ecosystem, a Microsoft Windows environment. And it is hard for us to believe that the native Active Directory still does not have a support for password self-service. So why is it so important? Because I'm sure that every one of you attending the session today has a Facebook account. And when was the last time you called somebody requesting them to reset your Facebook password? Or forget Facebook, what about your mail account? When was the last time you called somebody and said, hey, I have trouble resetting my password. Can you please get it done for me? I don't remember doing that at all, simply because of the password self-service facility that is available in most of the applications, both on-premises and cloud applications these days. But unfortunately, the native Windows Active Directory still does not have a provision for password self-service. And this could be a major savior to most of the help desk calls that a user receives. At the same time, you as an organization on deploying a solution, a password self-service solution, can ensure or monitor users' password actions. You can take care of the password strengths, set up complexity rules. Uh, so yes, we're saving the trouble of going through password help desk calls. We're saving a lot of uh, finances that is spent on these help desk calls, but at the same time, we're empowering users to take care of their own passwords. So this is why we need to manage our passwords, and this is why it is important to manage passwords efficiently. And that is simply what today's session is going to be about. I am going to talk about how AD Self-Service Plus is going to help bridge the gap between what the real-time world requires and what Microsoft provides. So yes, we know for certain that 90% of the organization in today's world still make use of Active Directory, still work with a Windows environment. And yes, we are also aware that a lot of applications, cloud-based applications, on-premises applications are being used on an everyday basis to make work easier. And that is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how you as an administrator, you as a help desk technician, you as a security specialist in your organization can deploy this solution to ensure that users can handle their own password resets. Users can go through a secure password reset process. You needn't worry about the security part of it. You can also monitor, audit, create alerts for all that's going on in your password environment with respect to Active Directory. And that is exactly what I am here for. That is what I'm going to walk you through. So before I dive into the live setup and show you how to work around password reset, how it works, how AD Self-Service Plus works real time, I would like to quickly remind you that there is a questions tab allocated to you. So if you have any questions or if you have any difficulty following up anytime during the session, please keep your questions coming in the tab. I will make sure that I answer your questions as I go through the session. And also, the video of this session will be available online. But if you would like to receive a personal copy, all you have to do is drop in your mail ID to me, and I will make sure that a copy of the webinar reaches you for self-learning. So yes, that's about it. I'm going to quickly jump into the AD Self-Service Plus console, and let's get started working with password self-service management for your Active Directory and other on-premises. So what I've planned to do is show you how it works from the administrator's perspective, but at the same time give you real-time examples or real-time scenarios of what an end user goes through. So this will make it easier for us to understand. But if you have any questions anytime during the session, once again, please pop them in the questions tab. Also, the last 10 minutes of today's session is dedicated for question and answers. So you can also save your questions for the end of the session if you have any trouble following up. All right, logging in as an administrator, what you see is the AD Self-Service Plus portal. So under domain settings is the domain that I've configured for. It is pretty simple. Add the domain name, controller, authenticate yourself, and you're good to go. You can see that I've already done. And yes, it is set as a default domain. I can go back and edit it. I can update the domain objects, that is refresh manually, synchronize with my Active Directory manually, and also delete it if I wish to not use this particular domain anymore. All right, and jumping to the dashboard, this is going to give you a quick view of all you can do with AD Self-Service Plus. And the reports tab will give you complete insight into users' actions, audit actions, enrollment reports. And this will help you work your way through a lot of configuration that happens right here. And yes, under the configuration tab, you can see that I've created a self-service policy right here. I'm going to explain what I've done. I've created an organizational unit under my name, that is Sharada, and I've sorted users into each of these sub OUs trying to replicate an organizational structure, just mimic a simple organizational structure. Admin, finance, and HR. And yes, I've sorted users into each of these groups. So once this is done, I can create policies based on OUs and groups present in my Active Directory in AD Self-Service Plus. So what I've done here is basically created two policies, admin and HR. And this allows users to go through a self-service permission for reset, unlock, self-update, as well as change password. So this is how you get started working with AD Self-Service Plus. What I'm also going to quickly do is jump to the admin tab, go to the server settings, and configure my mail server. So this will ensure that I will be able to successfully send email reminders or notifications. So giving in the mail server, port number, address, and I need to authenticate myself. So once this is done, I'm going to quickly save the setting and I'm good to go. So once my mail server configuration is complete, I will be able to send them password expiry reminders, enrollment notifications, and all that. So yes, this is simply how you get started setting up AD Self-Service Plus. So I've jumped to the reports tab right now to give you a quick view of the user reports. Let's look at how many users have been logged out. I'm going to generate a report. So thankfully, no users have been logged out. And in soon to expire password users report, we do not have any users whose passwords are going to expire in 7 days or lesser. So let me try a higher number to see if there are any. So yes, we do have a couple of users whose passwords are going to expire in 15 days or lesser. I can also customize the view to check other attributes. All right. So the important problem that we're dealing with is password expiry. And don't be surprised to see a big list of users whose passwords have already expired. So this is where the real trouble arises. So if you've already worked with password expired users, I'm sure that this is definitely something that bugs you on an everyday basis. I've also heard certain administrators say that they get at least 25 calls every day just to fix the password expire, just to ensure that users are not expired, um, just to re-give access to users whose passwords have expired and they probably don't remember their passwords anymore. So this is a major trouble, simply because if a user still remembers their old password, they will be able to go through a seamless password reset. But if not, it's going to end up as a help desk call. So yes, let me quickly give you how to handle these. But before that, what I'm going to do is open a new tab and log in as a user into the AD Self-Service Plus portal. So I just quickly showed you how easy it is to deploy AD Self-Service Plus. Download AD Self-Service Plus from the website. It takes less than an hour to completely set it up, deploy it, send an enrollment notification to users, and kickstart working with AD Self-Service Plus. Less than 1 hour for you to set it up for your organization. So yes, once that is done, I'm going to log in as myself first. So the first time a user logs in to AD Self-Service Plus, this is what pops up. This is how it looks. So the user, that is me, I am asked to enroll to enjoy the benefits of password self-service. So what do I mean by enrollment here? It is important for users to enroll because this is one of the method to ensure that users go through a seamless but secure password reset operation. So what you see on your screen is the security question answer. I'm sure you would have already guessed what this is for. So the security question answer is set as the default multi-factor authenticator to go through a password reset. So you see that I've manually filled in, and once I hit enroll, the user Sharda is automatically enrolled with AD Self-Service Plus. And the advantage of enrollment is that I can go through a seamless password reset and account unlock process without having to call the administrator, because I can verify my identity. That is exactly what is listed right here. And yes, once the user logs into AD Self-Service Plus, the basic things that a user can do is go through a change password operation. All they have to do is give in the old password, enter the new password. You can also see a check against, you can also see the password strength being analyzed as I'm entering. So yes, once this is done, change password and the user is good to go. So I'm going to do that operation for you. So yes, the domain password policy is listed right there to guide the user to set the password that they need to meet, the complexity rules that they need to meet. And yes, my password has been changed successfully. I can also go and self-update my personal information. All this is possible because you as an administrator has given permissions to password self-service, that is reset, unlock, change password, and self-update for user Sharda, who belongs to one of the self-service policies, which is admin. So what I'm going to do now is update the telephone number. You see that I've randomly inputted a number right here. Once I hit on update, yes, it says the property is successfully updated. I'm going to quickly jump to my Active Directory users and computers to cross-verify that. So there you can see the number that I entered in the AD Self-Service Plus portal is reflected in my Active Directory users and computers. So this typically means any changes that a user works around in AD Self-Service Plus is reflected real time. So any password change, password reset, if a user tries to change password, not only for the Active Directory, but for the other cloud and on-premises accounts, all these changes that's made happens real time. And you saw that I just entered a random number right here. So if you want to keep a check on user self-service actions, you can also set up approval workflow where the help desk technicians or any technician that you deploy in your organization has to verify any change that the user does to ensure the quality of information that goes or that is stored in your Active Directory. So yes, that is possible as well. And as you go about configuring more options for users, for example, users will be able to subscribe to mail groups if you give them permission to do that. Self-service or self-subscription to mail groups is possible, so they can opt in or out of mail groups. There's a tab that pops up right here. Users can access multiple on-premises and cloud applications from one single portal if you have enabled single sign-on for them, and that is possible as well from the AD Self-Service Plus portal. So what we just saw was how the basic AD Self-Service Plus portal looks on configuration. Simple, self-update, change password, and enrollment. You can also choose other multi-factor authenticators for users to enroll with for a more secure, more stringent password reset process. Because like I said, the 80-20 rule holds good for security breaches, and the most easiest way, I would say, or the method that tops the list of easy security breach is misusing a user's identity, which can either be the password hack or trying to easily break into the system by cracking in the reset password. And that is exactly why I think it is really, really important. Honestly, I would not recommend you to use security question answers as your multi-factor authenticator. AD Self-Service Plus gives you other options, though security question answer is still one of the most commonly used multi-factor authenticator. I would still suggest you to have the verification code or something more advanced like the Duo Security, your Google Authenticator, Radius, or the AD Self-Service Plus mobile authenticator itself, because this involves uh, not just testing the user's identity, it is also something that the user possesses or something that the user is. For verification code, it's their personal device or their email account. And for push notification, they can verify the RSA secure ID requires the RSA passcode and things like that. So yes, something that the user possesses, and this ensures that the password reset process is definitely much more secure. So I would definitely recommend going for a much better password multi-factor authenticator. So what we just saw is how to deploy the Self-Service Plus for your on-premises Active Directory. I'm quickly going to walk you through the password reset process for other applications as well and for your Active Directory. So yes, the second task that we have, or the second list in our agenda, is to allow users who have reset their forgotten passwords or unlock their Active Directory accounts. So yes, what we saw now was how a user typically logs into the AD Self-Service Plus portal, enrolls with AD Self-Service Plus, can go through a successful password change and self-update. So this is the very basic. The major concern is when a user has to go through a password reset process when he or she does not remember their password. So I'm going to try and log in as Adam. All right. So I have a message which says unable to log on because your account has been locked. Please contact your administrator. So what I'm going to do is quickly check the reports as well and see if Adam is listed. Yes, bad password count. This is something that is very, very common. This is something that happens very often because we as humans have the tendency to go back and type multiple passwords. So if your bad password count is limited to a smaller number, then this is prone to happen. And once again, in this case, if the user is still not able to access the right password, this will lead to a help desk call. So let me try and see what happens when I try to go through an account lockdown flow. So this seems simple. Username Adam. I've chosen the domain. Giving in the captcha. There you go. I have a message which says you're required to enroll with security questions. So please log in if you remember and enroll, or contact your administrator if you don't. Once again, this is typically a case that is very prone to happen because a user fails to enroll with AD Self-Service Plus. So when a user has not enrolled with AD Self-Service Plus, they can simply not go about because they will not be able to confirm their identity. If a user cannot confirm their identity, they will not be able to go through a self-service process. Once again, this is a dead end. This is going to lead to a help desk ticket, and this is typically what we are trying to avoid. So what I would recommend for you to do as administrators is two things. One, we help you provide enrollment notification. So we have different ways where you can ensure users enroll with AD Self-Service Plus. So when I said deploying AD Self-Service Plus and getting started working with AD Self-Service Plus is not going to take more than an hour. I meant it in the literal sense simply because you can send out an enrollment notification via email or a push notification to users to let them know that they need to enroll with AD Self-Service Plus. The mail is simple, it's customizable right here. So it reads, we have deployed a password self-service tool to help you reset your Windows domain password. Simple. So as soon as you deploy AD Self-Service Plus in your organization, you can shoot out this mail inviting users to enroll with AD Self-Service Plus. What's better is that you as administrators can import data from either a CSV file or an external database as long as you have access to users' data, and you can ensure that users are automatically enrolled. You can take care of the enrollment process. And the advantage here is that you can still make use of one of the Active Directory attribute, for instance, uh, the mail or mobile attribute, and enable verification code. In this case, what happens is that users are automatically enrolled with their verification code method of enrollment, and which means when Adam, who is not enrolled with AD Self-Service Plus, tries to go through a password reset process, he will still be able to seamlessly reset his password simply because you have helped him enroll with AD Self-Service Plus. So if you just lost me there, if you didn't understand how enrollment works, how enrollment free password reset works, if I just spoke about the importance of enrollment, I'm just going to walk you through how this is going to happen. So I'm choosing the policy HR. So Adam belongs to the self-service policy HR. So yeah, right there. So I've chosen the policy HR, and what I've done is enable verification code. So this is the verification code method of authentication, and this is updated for the policy HR. So now I'm going to literally mimic what I did previously. Enter Adam's name, give in the captcha, hit continue, and this time I do not have to go through a manual enrollment. All I have to do is choose my email ID because the verification method of authentication is enabled. So I would say this is one of the easiest enrollment methods because the Active Directory attribute, which is the user's mobile or email attribute, is automatically fetched. This method does not require users to manually enroll with AD Self-Service Plus. And once the first verification code is authenticated, that is, once a user logs into their account and picks up the right code and is able to go through a seamless password reset process, the user is automatically pushed into the enrolled user bucket. So I'm just going to show you how that works. Logging in to my Gmail account. So what I've done here is created one single Gmail account for all the users just so that it's easy for me to work with it. Okay, this is the old mail. I've not received a mail yet. So I'm going to quickly jump back and check if my mail configuration, mail server configuration is right. Let me test that by sending a test mail to myself. Quickly checking if I've received that mail, the test mail. Yes, this seems to be okay. So I'm going to go back and try to do this once again. All right, so this is where the trouble is. I basically did not even go through the process. All right, I should have got the mail now. Have I got it? Yes. Thank you. Yes. So Adam has received a password reset confirmation right there with the verification code, which I'm quickly copying. And remember that I also have to show you how Adam will be automatically enrolled once he goes through the password account unlock process. Thank you. So Adam was able to self-service and unlock his own account. This is typically how it works for a password reset as well, which I'm simply going to mimic. So let's just imagine that Adam does not remember his password anymore. So he goes through a password reset process. And once again, a verification code is sent. Entering the CAPTCHA. I've received another mail. Quickly pasting the code right there. Entering the CAPTCHA once again. Yes, I am redirected to the password reset page, wherein I have my domain password policy listed right there. The advantage that it plays here is that I will be able to customize a granular password policy specific to OUs and groups present in my Active Directory, wherein what I'm trying to say is that you can enforce a custom granular password policy where the minimum length has to be 10, the maximum length could be 18. You can also enforce a policy where you can avoid dictionary words, avoid palindromes, and all that. So yes, we have a list of complexity rules that you can enforce in order to make sure that not only is the password reset process secure, but the password that users abide to is strong, is secure, is smart, and I would not say hack proof. Like there cannot be a password. Ideally, there is. I mean, the only password that can possibly be hack proof is what I would like to believe, because you can just make it improbable to hack into a user's account by increasing the complexity rules or increasing the length, because you indirectly increase the time taken to hack into a user's account. But it is very important to have better passwords, and yes, you can ensure that users in your organization stick to better passwords, and that can be done from AD Self Service Plus. So we are talking about starting from reminding users about their impending password expiry, to reminding users to enroll with AD Self Service Plus for a seamless, secure password reset process, all the way till recovering from an password expired account or a lockdown account. And you can also ensure that users stick to strong passwords, not only for their Active Directory, but for their Office 365 account, for their Salesforce account, and across multiple on-premises and cloud applications by enforcing a granular password policy right from the AD Self-Service Plus portal. Yes, with that said, I'm going to hit reset password for Adam. And yes, Adam's password has been reset successfully. So jumping back to the reports tab, I'm going to give you a quick view of how you can keep track of all that's happening in your user's environment right here from the AD Self-Service Plus portal. So starting from the logged out user's account, I'm going to generate this once again. And no, we do not have any other users who've logged out. We do have a couple of users whose passwords are going to expire. I'm going to jump to reset password audit report, where Adam has performed a reset password, which is right now, and the status says successful. So you can export these reports. You can filter them out. These are customizable, actionable reports. I'm going to check the same for change password. There, Sharda is listed. Self-update. Sharda is listed once again. And I'm also going to quickly show you the account unlock for Adam. So yes, so the second attempt reads that it cannot be unlocked because it's not locked. So that is notified as well. Uh, so yes, this is the advantage of having a reports tab, a dedicated reports tab, because you as an administrator not only hand over the torch of password self-service to users, not only let them take care of their own password self-service actions, thereby preventing a lot of help desk calls, thereby financially saving quite a lot, but you also ensure that the entire process is secure. You also ensure that the importance is given to the quality of passwords that users choose, and you can also monitor, create alerts, notify users, and all that right from one single portal right here. So, yes, I was talking about non enrolled users, and you can see quite a lot of users there. But under enrolled users, you are going to find Sharada, because Sharda enrolled with the security question answers and Adam right there. And if you notice, the last modified is listed as not applicable simply because we did not manually enroll Adam. It was done automatically, so there was no modification done from our end. You can also see that the security question answer report is available only for Sharada and not Adam. So, yes, complete insight into what is happening in your password management environment right here under one single console. All right, so we have also seen how to secure the password reset process. You can make use of other multi-factor authenticators like the Google Authenticator, the AD Self-Service Plus mobile app authenticator, Duo Security, RSA Secure ID, Radius Authentication, or the simple, basic, and most widely used security question answers. We also went through a password reset and account unlock process, and we also saw how easy it is to audit user self-service actions, to configure alerts and notifications. I'm going to quickly jump to the alerts and notification part of it. But before that, let us explore a bit more about the other applications that you can ensure that users handle for themselves. Yes, I do understand that most of the applications provide self-service options. But the major advantage here is that one single portal for multiple applications. So we support single sign-on for more than 100 cloud applications. So yes, you can check that out and see the applications that you use on an everyday basis. But the more interesting factor here is that we also provide password synchronization, and you can also customize your custom SAML single sign-on application. So any application that you work with in your organization, both cloud-based and on-premises applications, can be configured right here, wherein you can ensure that users have a seamless one-click access to these applications right from their AD Self-Service Plus user portal. And as you can see, I have pre-configured Office 365 password synchronization for the domain ZoCop ADMGR Plus and for the policy HR. So this is what I'm going to work with now. I'm going to enable this. So I have enabled password synchronization for my Office 365 domain. And now quickly jumping into the AD Self-Service Plus portal, I'm going to try and see what happens when Adam goes through a password reset now. I'm sure you remember that Adam belongs to the policy HR. I have to choose my ID, and the verification code has to be entered. Right there, pasting the verification code, entering the captcha. This time, I can reset my Office 365 password along with my AD password. So I'm going to test this right now. And as I go through a password reset process, I'm going to try and see if I can reset my Office 365 password as well. So yes, I have been able to successfully do that. I have a message which says my Active Directory and my Office 365 or Azure password has been reset successfully. So this is similarly how it works for any password synchronization enabled application. Users have a choice to deselect Active Directory and just go through a password reset or change password operation um, for a particular application, both on premises and cloud application. But the advantage here is that on password synchronization, users have to remember lesser passwords. So this means that my secure domain smart Active Directory, that is my Windows logon password, is the same password across my Salesforce account, my Google account, my Office 365 account, and many more. So what I'm going to do now is test and see if this works. I am going to log into my domain and see if this works. So logging in as Adam into my domain and entering the password that I just reset. Oh yes, I have a good evening message and I have been able to successfully access my account. And once I'm logged in here, I will be able to use all the applications across my Office 365. So yes, we are talking about one password across multiple on-premises and cloud applications. But if you think that that might be a security concern, you can always stick to the single sign-on option wherein the users go through a secure login after you've enabled two-factor authentication, a secure login. And once that is done, they will have seamless one-click access to not one, not two, but 100 applications listed on your screen right now. A seamless one-click access to all these applications, saving so much time and effort on an everyday basis, preventing password fatigue because we are accessing multiple applications, multiple on-premises and cloud applications from one single portal. Once again, this is customizable as well. You can restrict or permit users to certain applications based on OUs and groups present in your Active Directory. All right, so I'm also going to quickly walk you through how to create notifications or alerts. So when you have self-service policies created right here, under the advanced option is where you can find notifications. So you can create an email notification for either of these self-service actions. You can also notify the admin about it. So any self-service action that the user does, the user will be notified about it. So if in case there is a chance of users identity being misused, they will be notified immediately so the right action can be taken. The same goes with administrators or users managers. You can send out reports to them. And yes, quickly talking about the password expiry notification as well. We spoke about password resets, the importance of securing the password reset process, the importance of users enrolling with AD Self Service Plus, but all this and much more can be avoided if users are aware of the password reset cycle in your organization. password expiry cycle in your organization, and this notifier will help them do that. You can notify users about their impending password and account expiry. This will ensure that they change their password well in advance to avoid a password expiry. Once again, easy to configure. You can notify them for both and notify them via mail, SMS, or push notifications. Set the frequency based on your convenience. Send targeted messages. You can also notify password expired users right there. Exclude users who do not make use of a password. For example, smart card users. You can notify enroll users. Send separate enrollment notification to non-enrolled users. Everything and anything can be customized in the AD Self-Service Plus portal. And yes, that is the advantage of password self-service. Yes, with that said, I think I've covered pretty much all that I had in mind. We have been able to answer or get a resolution to all the problems that's listed. We are covering the most important part of the 20% rule, that is misusing a user's identity or hacking into a system. So both of these involve passwords, and we have a way to ensure that our passwords, the user's passwords in our organization, are secure. We have a way to ensure that users are have to abide to a stringent password policy, which can be enforced from the AD Self-Service Plus portal. We've also ensured that we have multiple authenticators before the user actually goes through a password reset process, wherein the user's identity cannot be misused. And talking about the help desk calls, once you empower users to take care of their own password resets and account unlocks, 90% of the 40 listed right here will drastically go down. I can ensure you that you can see results within the first 1 month of installing AD Self Service Plus, because this is something that I've heard from a lot of customers that I work with. And yes, we have also seen how self-service can improve the experience of AD using Active Directory password management, and how AD Self-Service Plus can be the solution for that. So yeah, I have a couple of questions that's coming up. If you have any questions, please keep them coming. I'm going to take time and answer them quickly. On that note, if you'd like to receive the video of this session, please drop in your mail ID in the questions tab. And I would also like to thank you for taking time to attend today's session. I really hope that the session was informative and you learned in detail about how AD Self-Service Plus works and the power of password self-service. If you have any further questions about a particular feature that we did not discuss about today, please feel free to drop in a mail to me at sharda@manageengine.com. My mail is listed right there. And if you have any trouble working with AD Self-Service Plus or any of the features in your organization, all you have to do is drop in a mail to my support team. They work 24/5 and they will be able to resolve your queries well within a day, easily, I would say. And yes, we also have a dedicated AD Self-Service Plus resource kit available in our website, right from knowledge-based articles. We have a dedicated blog, forum post for technical discussions. So all this happens for us to improve your experience or learn more about AD Self-Service Plus, to make your experience of using AD Self-Service Plus better. And also remember, you can drop in a mail to me anytime if you have any trouble working with AD Self-Service Plus, or if you have any requirement, because I'd be more than happy to get it started and working for you. And once again, thank you so much for making time for today's session. It was an immense pleasure to be the presenter for today. I really hope that all your questions and queries about AD Self-Service Plus, about password self-service, was resolved. I'm going to take time to answer the few questions that's popping up on my screen right now. On that note, I would like to thank you all once again for being on board. So yes, that's about it. We've come to the end of today's session. This is Sharda from the marketing team of Manage Engine signing off for today. It was a pleasure being a host for your session.